All right, you guys, round two. I'm making another video today, a little bonus video, because something really interesting happened before I started making these videos that I think will be a fun story about. You don't have to set up your life the way everyone else sets up their life, and your life can still work out just fine. So, I'm someone, I don't sleep at normal hours. I don't like to be confined for too long. And when I took this space, I had some anxiety about should I have set hours? I don't know. And I decided to have my space open by appointment. And if I'm here, I open the door, I put a sign out, people come in. My space is in the alley, and there's a parking lot across from the alley, right? So people do come here in the alley, but it's kind of got to know that I'm here kind of thing. So I've went through a phase where I would put a lot of pressure on myself to be here at a certain time, or if I came here, oh, I have to sit here for a certain amount of hours. And I would just kind of didn't really like the way that felt. I felt very like confined and trapped. And maybe I want to go take a walk or go, I'm by the beach. Like I want to go to the beach and hang out, but oh, I have a space. Now I have to be serious, right? What I really discovered, I really believe, maybe you don't believe it yet, but I think you will believe it if you give it a chance. What I believe is if you really relax and feel into yourself and ask yourself, what do I want to do today or in this moment? You will find yourself being led to the right place. So, an example of this morning, I wake up every day and I just kind of decide, am I going to go to my gallery? Am I going to stay home? Am I going to go to Disneyland? I don't know. And this morning I woke up, I was feeling good, well rested. I had a really nice meditation. I exercised, I ate well. I had some errands to run, I took care of, and I got down here to my gallery when I got here. And as I was first setting up, this woman walked down the alley and she looks at me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I she had met me at an event a few months ago. She took a card and I said to her I was in the alley, and I guess she thought to herself like she'll never find me, right? And here she is, just as I was opening the door and getting started, she was going to her car, and we just lined up, and she came in, looked around. She's looking for a bunch of art. She loves my art. It's a great match. It's funny because the woman, I said to her, "Wow, it's great timing because I just am arriving," and she said, "Oh, I don't believe in coincidence, right? Everything is meant to be," and I really agree. And I believe that when I sit here and I force myself to be here for like a set amount of hours, and it's really sort of forced and stiff, like nobody will come in. It's amazing. But if I kind of come and go as I please, I show up when I want, I just tell myself that the right people are going to come in when I'm there and feeling good. It's always the case. It's always the case. So I don't fight it anymore. I just go with it. And I really think, especially if you have the desire to be an entrepreneur, to be an artist, that the more you can really feel into that idea that your life is going to unfold based on if you're lining up the energy or not. I know that sounds like woo woo. I never used to think like that. Never. But I've put it to the test over the years. And I've had other businesses in the past, as I mentioned in my last video. I think I mentioned it. If I didn't, I'm mentioning it now. And when I have tried to force it and work myself to death, which I have definitely done, I died and was reborn this much more relaxed person. And it's really, that is actually kind of true. I'll talk about it in other videos, but I had a business where I worked every night till like 3 or 4 in the morning. I barely slept. I worked so hard and really kind of went nowhere. And I really almost had a nervous breakdown. And then I just kind of let go. I just went, forget it. I don't care about anything. And that's really when I started to find photography. And we can talk about that. We can talk about it. I can talk and you can listen and you can ask questions in the comments. Please comment, like, subscribe. Thank you. And because I really want to grow and keep talking about these things. Well, I'm going to keep talking about it anyways. So, but if you want to keep watching, then do all the stuff. So basically, I would encourage you to put it to the test. Notice when you're feeling good and when you're not, when you're forcing yourself to do something and when you're not. And like I said, I had a business where I really forced it. And man, it was the right idea at the right time and not the right execution. And when I really let go and just did the stuff I wanted to do, and I realized I'm not a morning person. So I never set meetings in the morning unless I really have to, unless there's really something I want to do and there's no other time to do it. But I have really just come to terms with I'm allowed to be me and set my schedule the way I feel like it works for me, and the right people will come and line up. And it's a leap of faith, and we're not taught to think like this. And so I would encourage you in small ways that feel good to you. Don't just jump off a cliff. If you have like a 9 to 5 job or something, don't just up and leave it, but just test yourself. Like, if I show up feeling one way today or another way tomorrow, or am I forcing myself into this time frame that doesn't feel good to me? And if I don't do that on certain days, what does it feel like and what does it yield? I would encourage you to think about these things, test it in ways that feel comfortable to you. I have tested it in kind of dramatic ways. I'm kind of dramatic. I've had a lot of like I make a big splash sometimes. But I really, really, I know that if you really focus yourself and pay attention to these things, you will notice that you can actually have the life and the schedule that you want just because it feels good to you. And you're not pushing against anyone. You're not saying to someone, oh well, I'm a morning person and so that's it. It's not about being upset about someone who's not a morning person or evening person or whatever. It's just about what feels good to me. It's not about anyone else. And just let it ride. I'm telling you, it's so magical when you get in that zone. So I think this ended up being a really long-winded video, but hopefully it helps somebody. Okay.